It has been another relentless day for the medics here as casualties continue to pour in. Tragically, many of those are children. Now, I have been out speaking to children here about their lives. I've been to see some of them in their homes and some of them actually here in hospital. And do be warned, my report does contain some images that distressed me, let alone you. Even in the most deserted streets, children play, run through the dust and sand. Evidence of the inescapable fact that the vast proportion of Palestinians here are indeed children. They tell us they've been evacuated after Israeli forces bombarded their homes. Despite their smiles, they have witnessed terrible things. So are they frightened?
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
Our own translator is afraid. His family is stranded far south of here in Al-Najjar, cut off from where we are in Gaza City. He cannot reach them, they cannot reach him, and last night their neighborhood was hit and ambulances removed the injured.
My kids are crying and my wife is crying and I can barely hear their voices with explosion in the background. And last night my daughter told me, "Dad, tell me I'm not gonna die." 6 years old girl asked her father to not die.
Then this afternoon he learned 17 people in his wife's area had been killed by renewed shelling and ground fighting. His family has survived. All he can do is to listen to their wailing on the phone. It's right here to Shiva Hospital where the children who are hit are rushed. 10-year-old Anwar has shrapnel wounds and a deep burn on his thigh. He tells us relatives were killed in the attack.
Yeah, 3 have been killed. My grandfather, my grandmother, and my aunt.
I'm so sorry. Naima is just 2.5 years old. She was caught in a missile attack from an F-16. She has a broken nose and a fractured skull. She hasn't spoken a word. She is in deep shock. And this is 7-year-old Noradine, grievously injured in an F-16 missile attack in which 45 others were injured. Her mother says many were children. 2 were killed. 7-year-old Maha suffered serious injuries in an artillery bombardment that killed 8 and wounded 7 others. She is apparently the necessary collateral to Israel's claim to be attacking militants. The dirt from playing in the street still clings to her feet. In the emergency ward downstairs, 10-year-old Ahmad has just come in with head injuries back and front. 20 other children were wounded with him. Finally, Shahid, injured in the same attack. Again, head injuries from shrapnel. The director of the emergency ward is in despair.
Innocent people, all that which we receive here, innocent people, it's all of them civilians. Why? The question why and how, for how long, it's enough. I suppose to immediately cease fire now to save the innocent people. They are human beings. Where's the rights of human rights?
Outside his office, bereft fathers weep inconsolably. And at the entrance, a wounded mother is delivered by private van and bundled into the hospital. Well, one of those doctors tending those children is a professor of emergency medicine from the University of Northern Norway, Dr. Mads Gilbert. Dr. Gilbert, what do you now know of the latest death toll amongst children, and particularly the injuries?
Well, we know that the last 24 hours, 6 more children have been killed and 100 more injured, bringing the total of killed children to 166 and the number of injured children to 1,310. Total number of killed, including adults, it's 695, and total number of injured, 4,519. And the number and the fraction of children is unusually high in this material, meaning that the Israelis are relentlessly killing children and injuring children.
Well, now, the issue that I want to know is the survivability of many of these wounded children, because we were in the ward with many of them this afternoon, and some were really too injured to film. I mean, what do they face?
Well, they face severe complications from the primary injury. Many of these children have complicated operation. I mean, Shifa has 250 surgeons, and we work around the clock. But many of these multi-trauma patients, they require an extremely high-level, university-level hospital competence, and Shifa is drained of resources. We don't have everything we need. Most of these multi-trauma patients should have been evacuated out of Gaza to have proper treatment.
But I gather, in particular, pain control is devastatingly short.
Absolutely, and we lack epidural catheters, local anesthetics, and so on, and I think that the total care, I mean, Shifa Hospital is doing everything they can for the children, yet the siege has caused the hospital to be so drained of resources and supplies that we cannot offer what these children should deserve, and of course many of them will die due to complications.
So what relief could there be?
Well, stop the bombing, lift the siege, and let this be an open place where international medical teams could come in and tend to the wounded. It's enough now. Stop the killing of children.
Right. On that note, thank you very much.